Hi, so this is my response for the acceptance and appreciation of a diverse world. Um, so I really liked Ezra's story. It was pretty cool, and props to Pau Gasol, even though right now he's a little soft with the Spurs, but we won't go into that one with the playoffs. I'm going for Warriors, so hopefully they pull through again. Anyways, so identify what part of your story or experiences of life need to be shared with others so they too can be inspired. I don't. This is like super hard for me to answer, and it's like how people are like, crazy people don't say they're crazy. Well, humble people don't say they're humble, but I don't really want to like. I want like I'm humble, but like I don't really want to like shy away from like the whole point of like our question too. So I'm gonna answer that first and see what happens after that. But what areas of physical education and sport do we need to be more accepting of each other's diversity? And honestly, I think that goes down to like from what I learned this past year working in San Bernardino is people's their backstory or their baggage, so to speak. Uh, we had a lot of players coming in who were kind of like they're damaged in the sense that coaches took advantage of them and like yelling at them, kind of getting them like classic conditioned into like different attitudes and accepting of how they act on the court and whatnot. And even then, um, people's like home life. And that wasn't like when I was over in Oxnard and I was coaching over there and even playing. People kind of kept that to the side and they didn't bring it on the court. It was more of like basketball's here. This is what we're doing. Whatever happened outside of basketball, that's don't worry about it. Just go in there and play basketball. Rather over here, it was more of like whatever happened out there is brought inside the gym. And we told them countless times, like whatever's happening out there, you got to come in here and forget about it because this is your sanctuary. Like you can't bring that stuff in here. But oftentimes we always had kids missing practices because of a family argument, or they had to take care of their siblings or jobs, and that's all understandable. It's just life. But I wasn't as understanding as I had hoped to be or as I had wanted to be, which is totally going to change this year. But I just think we need to be more aware of people's home lives, and it's kind of hard at a JUCO level because they're 18 years old and it's like whatever, like that's their own thing. They're adults, so they need to take care of it. It's not something that we need to take care of, but I think it's definitely something we have to be aware of. And I guess then I'll identify. So a story, an inspirational story for me, I guess, is just I kind of throughout my whole life I've been kind of like walking around with a chip on my shoulder as far as basketball goes. Basketball has always been like the one thing that's important to me, and the steady consistency of it. I never disrespected the game, and the game never disrespected me. So I don't have any hatred towards it, other than like there was a couple times where I had coaches burn me out and yell at me for whether I thought they were dumb or they thought they were right reasons. But um, I think a lot of people tell me this part of my basketball story is an inspiration to them, which I kind of think of it as I had to do what I had to do. And one of those was I decided to go back and play collegiately when I was 23 years old. And when I went to go play, I was actually still enrolled at Cal State Channel Islands. And so I enrolled at Oxnard College, 15 units there, and I was still at Channel Islands, so 15 units there. So throughout the fall semester and the spring semester, I took 30 plus units, all passing them all. I'll let you know, passing them all. And I ended up, after my first year, getting my bachelor's. And come the second year at Oxnard, I was enrolled during the master's program. I was working as a teacher at a private Catholic school, and I was an assistant basketball coach for the varsity team as well. And I was doing all this stuff, and I didn't think of it as like let me just add some more stuff onto my plate and like see what happens, or like I want to get recognized, anything like that. Like I said, I was just doing what I needed to do because I needed to make money, and I know I needed, by that time I needed experience coaching. So it wasn't like I was just like walking around trying to like have people like write something about me or like asking for anything like that. But at one point someone did, and it caught on the VC Star, and my whole story was put out there. And you guys can find it if you're really that interested. You just type in my name and then put Oxnard College. But because I did all that, and because that story came out, there was this other girl who started playing this past year, and I was talking with her dad, and she was honestly like maybe 2 years older than me. And he was like, "Yeah, my daughter's gonna go back and play." I'm like, "Which daughter?" And he was like, "The girl." She's like, "You seen her? I played women's basketball with her." And I'm like, "Oh, well, like she's still getting her bachelor's though." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, she's gonna do exactly what you did. She's gonna enroll over here at this college, and she's gonna double time it, just like you." And I'm like, "Oh." He's like, "Honestly," he's like, "you're her inspiration just because she thought she was done with basketball." And he's like, "Basically the same story that you had is her story, and seeing someone else do it inspired her to do it as well." And although it takes, I want to say it takes a special person to do that, because there's many times where I was just like, "What am I doing? This is too much classes to be taking." And obviously she was able to do it, and she was able to come out on top, and that's great and everything. Like, good for you. Like, that's how it should be done. You should have that inspiration. You should have that drive and motivation to do it. But after that came out, I've had like a lot of people come up to me and tell me how much of an inspiration I am to their daughters who are like in fifth and sixth grade, and how they'd come to my games and whatnot. And like I said, like I'm humble in the sense that I didn't I didn't think that whole thing was gonna happen. I didn't think that my story was gonna be out there, which I'm glad it did, because like that was a lot of hard work. But the fact of the matter is that like I'm just glad it came out there, that it inspired one other person. And I just want people to know that like don't think your dreams are all done with. Like there's always a way to like continue it. And um, even though that has nothing to do with the second question, that is just like my inspirational story, because it's the only thing I can come up with at the moment. Well, I hope to watch your guys's, and I hope you guys have a good week.